Hi everyone, I am Maggie Breen, Festival Coordinator for Dingle Film Festival, and I am here with Tony Kiernan today, and we're going to have a chat about his life in film.
Hey, how are you, Maggie? You all right?
Thanks for being here with us, Tony. First of all, just tell us a bit about your background. How are you? You're here on the Dingle Peninsula, and how, yeah,
Yeah, well, obviously I'm a blow-in. I'm a dub originally, and I lived in Dublin, and yeah, and then I lived in Laois for quite a long period of time as well. Even though I was still working in Dublin, I was living in Laois and commuting in and out. And yeah, I bought a house in Kerry in Dingle, but just outside Dingle in Clahan, 10 years ago, and then as a holiday home. And then when COVID hit, I have a horse and I have to exercise him and all that kind of stuff. So I had to move down to look after him. And then what happened was I just stayed. And I've been here ever since. About 6 years now, pretty much full time on the peninsula, which is great.
great. And tell us about how did you get into film and what you currently do in film, basically?
Yeah, I came around film a kind of strange way. Like when I finished school, I went to college and studied journalism. I did journalism for 4 years. Um, and then from that, because I wanted to tell stories essentially. But
Hmm.
when I was doing journalism, then I started working in radio. And I turns out I had a particular skill, a knack for doing kind of technical bits and pieces and working in studios with people and producing and all that kind of stuff. So I ended up doing that. Went to 98 FM this is going to show my age, back in 1997. So a long, long time ago. And I stayed with them for 11 years, I think it was. And I'd kind of gotten to the point, and I was working for a company, but the Communicore were the group that owns 90 FM. So I was working for Spin and for News Talk and for a few other stations. And I kind of got to the point where I had done everything I wanted to do in radio, I'd kind of achieved as much as I wanted. So I decided I wanted to work in TV and film. And there was a job going in a company called Moynihan Russell, which was a post-production studio in Dublin. So I went to there in 2008, I want to say. And then all of a sudden the recession hit. So I was there for 2 years before the recession kind of got into the deepest kind of parts of it. So then I ended up buying half of the company, and I became a director of the company then. So that was 16 years ago, 16 or 17 years ago. And yeah, so from then I just wanted to work with directors and producers and actors and kind of figure out how film is done from the inside out. So from the kind of cold face, so you
Hmm.
could actually see the how it's physically put together. And because Moynihan Russell, I think we're the longest running post-production studio in the country now, was very well established and had connections already, work automatically came to me. So and we do a lot of advertising and bits and pieces as well. So it's not just film and TV, a bit of everything, and podcasts and whatnot. So it was a natural fit. So then when I went to do that, I decided to start writing again. I started off doing short films. And yeah, so I had a little bit of success with them, backed by Screen Ireland and the Arts Council for a couple of them. And then from that, then from and now I'm at the point where I want to move in towards features.
Hmm.
So I've been writing features and I've been working with development people in the States and trying to help me make the features better. Because film is such a collaborative thing. There's nobody that works really in it solo. Everybody needs
Yes.
somebody else to lean against. So you need to definitely collaborate. Like, all depends what extent people do. Like, I'm more interested in writing and directing, but more so to writing. So I love working with directors because when you write something, you think, "Oh my God, this is the finished article. This is perfect. It's exactly what it's going to be." And then you speak to somebody, and they just give you a little tiny perspective, and your brain will go off somewhere else, and you'll come up with much better ideas, and I always add something to it.
Hmm.
So I love sitting down with people now and kind of and discussing stuff that I've written and how they can put a little spin on it, something that I might have look just through a different lens. And as soon
Yes.
as you do that, then it just becomes better.
Change of perspective on
Yeah,
what you've written. So that might mean you have to rewrite the whole thing or tweak it
sometimes, but
or
like that's the thing with film though. It's you do like nothing is finished. Like nothing is ever 100%. Like there's always another draft that can be done. Like and you think, okay, that's it. But no, I'm draft 10 now. That's it. And then 20 drafts later, you're still going, okay, I tweaked it some more and more, and it does find its place and sits down better. And especially when you see people like rehearsing a script that you've written, and then you say, oh, actually, when they say it out loud, it sounds a bit contrived. So you've got to
mm,
back away from that, and you can kind of manipulate it a little bit. Um, because my style of writing generally is I write. continually. Like it's I like if I start writing a script, I'll write until it's finished. I don't sit down and plan it and think about where I think because there's a lot of formula to script writing. I try not to fall into that. I try to kind of stay away from it as much as I can and just
Wow,
tell it
fascinating.
and tell a good story. I like just because when I'm writing, the story's already in my head. I don't like it's just me recalling a story as opposed to writing it. I'm not creating it. It feels like it's just coming back out. It's like remembering seeing a film and just writing it down, essentially. Yeah,
That's
it's a
amazing.
different kind of
Really
process. Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, so you're just revealing it for the people who are watching
Pretty
it.
much. And
Essentially,
I'm I most spend most of the time just trying to get out of the way of the story.
Mhm.
I just let it come out and I'm trying not to manipulate it and try not to make it too intelligent or smart. Because I think sometimes people can overwrite things because they think about them for far too long. And they're just okay, how can this be instead of the core is the story and it's about the emotional connection. It's about making people feel it and kind of getting back to those kind of emotional hot buttons, those kind of things that just trigger people and that'll I always like to think that anything that I write will stay with somebody for a long time after. So when they finish
Mm.
watching it or reading it, or listening, because I write a lot of short stories as well, that when for a day or two afterwards, they're still thinking about it. There's still something processing or that kind of gets their the claws inside them a little bit. Like,
Yeah. And what can we see your work online anywhere or
yeah, two of my shorts are on Disney Plus at the minute.
oh
Yeah,
great.
two of them are on Disney Plus, said one called Sentinel and one called Signal.
What are you working on at the moment? I know you mentioned a feature film in general back in the office as such. What kind of stuff are you currently kind of working on? What's your like day to day?
I just finished working on the new Blade Runner series that's going to be on Amazon Prime, I think. And I
Wow.
was working on another TV series called Grown Ups. It's going to be on Netflix. It's the Marion Keys series. It's going to be really big. It's great. It's really, really good.
Oh wow, sounds
I've been
great.
working on that recently as well. The cast is incredible and it's brilliantly shot. It's a beautiful looking TV series. It's going to do really, really well. I'm working on some radio documentaries as well at the minute that I wrote and I'm presenting as well. So
So what job or what jobs are you most proud of that you've been working on over the years of your career in film?
um I suppose like I worked on Oppenheimer about a couple of years ago. And that was because it was such a massive, epic, giant film, I don't think it'll ever be topped. I think that's probably the biggest film I'll ever work on, I'd imagine. That was just huge. And I remember even when I seen the rushes of that and thinking, oh my God, looking at the cast that they had and yeah, like Christopher Nolan is just one of like working with him like directly was insane. I was fangirling all over it. Like he's incredible. He knows every frame of that film. He knows he's so on it. He's such a perfectionist in the best possible way. He
Mm.
knows exactly what he wants, and he's so focused and driven to work with that kind of level of person. That was incredible because he my favorite director by miles. Of my own, my kind of the proudest I've been with anything I've ever made, because about dementia and it's a story about my dad,
Hmm.
and so it was incredibly personal to write it and to have it produced and like Peter Kiernan and yeah was the kind of main role in it, and Valerie O'Connor played the kind of second lead. And two of them are just amazing. They're brilliant actors, and they added so much to it. TJ O'Grady Payton, he directed it, and he's again another one to watch. He's just brilliant. He's a really good
Mm.
director. He's doing great things now as well. Yeah, so that and it was because it was so personal and it traveled around quite a lot, got all over the world, and got really good reaction. Hundreds of festivals, and I won a few of them as well. So it's and that's streaming now in Disney Plus. So that's kind of it's always good as well.
Wow, it must be
So
really
yeah,
amazing to see your work on the screen, like finished and screening it.
it's surreal. I think one of my other shorts called Signal. That was the most surreal moment I ever had was when I walked onto the set and the set was built that the same that was in my head, and I was watching the actors. It's like the two young kids acting, and they were reading the lines that I'd written. I was like just blown away. It's like this is so straight because I've been on film sets and I've worked on like I've worked on thousands of TV shows and films, and when it's somebody else's work, you just work on it because it's work. But when it's come out of your head and they're saying the exact lines you've written, you're like, wow, that's very strange. It's a strange, strange feeling.
Wow. What, I suppose, how do you work? Like, what's your process? You mentioned there that when you're writing a piece or a
Mm.
story, you see it in your head and you sort of just, you don't kind of finish, step away from
Yeah,
the stage until it's written. What other
pretty
kind of
much.
ways, processes help you to sort of work?
Well, I always find like it's meeting people, and it's those like I don't ever have to sit down and think of a story. It's always like everything I write has got some sort of reality to it. But like even with like the likes of Sentinel again, I didn't realize it until afterwards when I'd written it. That the characters that are in Sentinel are all basically versions of me. And you'll understand when you see the film that they are me. They're just different aspects of what I was going through at the time
Hmm.
dealing with my dad's dementia. And I became all of these characters essentially. So that's a different, and yeah, so it's very hard, and you do notice that a lot the more you write, because I write prolifically. I'm constantly writing. Um, but because so many stories pop into my head, those stories usually come from interactions with people, or I've been out somewhere with somebody and I met somebody that has a very interesting story. I'll chat to them, and then all of a sudden that'll sit in my mind and just germinate. And then
Hmm.
I'll sit down and I'll say, all right, I'm going to write something today, and that will just flow back out in some other type of
Wow.
form. Yeah, it's a strange. I know a few people that write like that. There's not that many. Like a lot of people would be a lot more formulaic and try to think of, oh, what's the best story, and that's it. There's a lot of tweaking that happens afterwards.
Mm.
Um, yeah, there's a lot of like time, especially as I said, like with collaboration, when you sit down with a director or producers, or else anybody just like that give you. I love notes and stuff, so because I love other people's perspectives. I love people coming back and saying sometimes they're wrong, sometimes they don't get the idea of the story that was going, but that's my fault. And I said, okay, if they didn't get that, then
Hmm.
maybe I have to go back and do something to make it come out a bit more.
Hmm.
So yeah, there's a lot of kind of not rewriting, but restructuring sometimes and just adding in or maybe putting in a different, like an extra little character just to help explain little bits. Yeah.
And how does that work when you're asking for notes? Like, is it a formal process, or is it like someone you know in the industry and you'll ask them to have a look over your script, or
Yeah, well, I've been working with a chap called Seth Parks, in New York, for the past little while, and he's been great. Like he's just great at giving notes.
Mhm.
He has read two of my screenplays actually, and just getting back with the really just precise, understood the characters and that kind of thing. And I don't expect any. It's like it's not a college essay. I don't want somebody to come back with like, oh, here's all the notes in red, and this is the bullet points, and this. It's more of a chat and get them make sure that they understand the story and what
Mhm.
other parts that they think would help explain the story or expand it or make it better or bring it down a different path or make it more believable. And that's the kind of notes. It's a more of a constructive chat about what
Yes.
it.
So
Yeah.
you find your person or people who you work
That
well with in that sense. So, like, I don't know, how do you engage
yeah,
with those people? How do you
yeah,
find people?
there has been usually a producer would put you onto them or else a director
Hey.
if they're like if it like there's been a couple of people that I've dealt with
Hmm.
other scripts and they didn't the notes I got back and the kind of those chats they were trying to make it into something else.
All right.
If a
Yes.
story is a story, I'm always kind of like when somebody goes, "Oh no, if you change it there," now all of a sudden there's a spaceship turns up, and you go, "Well, that's not that's a different story. That's a different film. That's a different thing." If we
Yes.
want, we can write a thing like that here, but this is not the story. This is about something entirely different. There was one director I was dealing with at one point for another feature I had, and basically, the story is about a guy who is a pretty nasty, horrible person, but redeems himself and becomes and kind of gets his life back together and comes. But at the end of the film, he turns back into this nasty person that he actually is. He goes back to himself, back to form.
Hmm.
And the director was like, "Oh, that's I don't you don't like him at the end." It's like you're not meant to like him at the end. It's the whole point. The whole film was him going back. We thought he was, and we start getting behind him. We think, oh, he's great, he's brilliant now. And then by the end of it, you go, actually no, he's the same horrible person as he was from the beginning. And he's like, oh, well, maybe we should change that. And like, it's like, well, that's a different film then. That's just a happy ending film.
Yes.
So
So you
yeah,
have
so
to be
we,
strong in your own
Yeah, it's hard to
idea
do.
of what the piece is, what the film is.
It's hard to do, especially like if you're looking to go for funding. And if I have been in the situations where we have funding in place, and then the script has changed dramatically since the funding was in place, and it's like you're having conversations, and well, you know that they've approved this already. This is what they're paying us to make. Now we're making something entirely different. You can't change it. Um, you
Ooh,
know, yeah, that and it does get you into kind of areas that you don't want to be in. But and that's more to do with people's insecurities about believing in the idea than just going, okay, no, people actually get it and they wanted to make it and they've given us the money to make it. Just make
mm,
that as opposed to being sitting back and thinking it over and over again and changing little bits.
yes. And what advice then would you give to anyone who is either in the film industry already and trying to get ahead, on in the game, or who wants to get into the film industry?
Uh, I suppose two pieces. One, be nice to people, you know? Like it's all about relationships. It's all about wanting to work with somebody. And if like, and I think why I get a lot of repeat business from my day job is because people like working with me and I'm never overcritical. I'm always trying to help and push things forward.
Hmm.
Some people can there can be a sense of injustice in the film industry when you see other people getting on and getting funded and getting, oh, well, how are they getting and I'm not? And you can get people can get bitter.
Hmm.
Uh, leave that aside. Don't let that sit with you because if you do, you'll just stew in it.
Hmm.
Just yeah, and accept the fact that people are just in the right situation at the right time. It's not a reflection on you. Just keep trying it and keep going. Yeah, so just be nice to people, just and help them out. If somebody asks for a favor, Cugger that was in the
Hmm.
film festival last year just won the Fastnet Film Festival there last week
Hmm.
at the weekend actually, which is great. And again, I helped Elaine out with that just because I like Elaine and it's a great little film. And yeah, and again, she's gonna help me out with something else, and I'll help her out with other things. It's a communal effort. It's not like no man's an island. You
Yes.
have to kind of get on with people and just help them out. And my second piece of advice is just practice. Just no matter what you're doing, whether it's the technical side of things, whether it's writing, whether it's producing, practice, practice, practice. Just keep going back to the well. Because
Hmm.
then as soon as you keep it, like I kind of always explain this being like sharpening a tool. Like if I'm not writing film scripts, I'm writing short stories or doing poetry or just something just to get your synapses going in the right direction so you're open to ideas and you identify the opportunities when they come along. You hear a story and go, oh, and your mind starts recording, and eventually that'll come back out somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah, so just keep practicing and just keep, and especially with the technical kind of side of things, if you want to go into sound design, if you want to go into like your DOP, if you want to direct, just go out and do it. Just find someone, whether it's shooting something on your phone or writing is like just coming up with something. Just go have a go at it because you're not going to get good at it unless you practice it. And nobody's
Hmm.
going to employ you or give you funding unless you're really, really good at it. So you just have to you'll do it for free for a while, but and then you'll find your tribe, you'll find those bunch of people that somebody will get a job then and go, oh, I'm going to work with this guy because they helped me out or they're really good at it now because they've been practicing so much. So I just
Hmm.
ask you practice as well.
Great. What film or films should are absolute must-sees for people who are interested in filmmaking and all of that?
Anything Christopher Nolan. Uh, uh, pretty much. Yeah, he's just again just a wizard, and yeah,
Hmm.
he's just incredible. My favorite film, I love Shawshank. I know everybody does. It was a flop when it came out because it wasn't this big commercial, but it's just full of texture, and that's the thing. I love the character in it, and it's not big flashy. There's no giant like plot twists and it just goes along and it's about this guy dealing with a situation that would probably and silly things like Jaws. I love Jaws just because Spielberg is just like he breaks every time he makes a film he sets new boundaries and all of a sudden that becomes standard like it's just so many when you watch films like that you kind of go right that's where that came from and
Hmm.
everybody does it now because they've set boundaries. Yeah,
Amazing. Lastly, your favorite film quote or scene?
I'm gonna go back to Shawshank with that. Get busy living or get busy dying.
Great. Love it.
Just and again, it's just that thing of just do it or don't. Like you got to do something. Otherwise, you're just going to stay static.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Tony Kiernan, for
Thank
your
you.
time and wish you all the best of luck with your new films.